In the previous chapter of What If Goku and Vegeta Wished Their Tails Back, Vegeta became the first person to fully master and awaken Primal Instinct. This is a feat that has always been conceived to be impossible throughout the multiversal history, but he's done it. By transcending to Super Saiyan 5 and hijacking the Shadow Realm, Vegeta somehow achieved conscious control over all of the primal laws of the universe. As far as power scaling is concerned, he is now among the very top fighters in the entire multiverse. And right now, the second round between Vegeta and the first ever God of Destruction, Thanatos, is about to begin. Vegeta just has to win this, right? And just like that, the Grand Priest will have no choice but to acknowledge him as the king. If you guys by some chance at this point still aren't caught up with What If Goku and Vegeta Wished Their Tails Back, the entire series, I highly recommend going back and checking all of that out. I put it in a nice neat little playlist for you guys. That'll be at the top of the screen and down below pinned in the comments. But as far as what Vegeta has to do from here on out, well, let's hop right in. Right when Vegeta overcame this little alter ego he had and came out of the Shadow Realm, he proceeded to wrap the space between him and Thanatos and then grabbed him by the neck. It's actually so simple. I can't believe you old fools spent billions of years without understanding the truth of Primal Instinct. It's pathetic. I'm not even joking, Vegeta says. His expression was completely blank. He had no emotion, nothing. He was simply looking down on Thanatos and considering the laid-back look in his eyes. Wow, Vegeta's really coming into this power all his own, Goku says. It's even amplifying that personality and attitude of his. Vegeta releases the hold on Thanatos' neck and allows him to regain his impure primal aura. His eyes are radiating with this intimidating purple glow, and the space around them starts to crackle with energy and his aura fluctuates wildly. Immediately he charges at Vegeta, and for what it's worth, Vegeta allows him to close the gap. Thanatos' speed is no joke. I mean, the only one who could see him right now was Vegeta. Goku sighs and Broly goes back to his base state. Zycor releases his forms as well, and Gohan puts back his glasses. From this point onward, these four Saiyans knew that they wouldn't have a single thing to do during the course of this battle. For the first time ever, if Goku were to interfere, he would be getting in Vegeta's way. When Thanatos is face to face with Vegeta, ready to deliver a decisive blow, Vegeta's galaxy-shattering punch lands on Thanatos. Believe it or not, the reason Vegeta allowed Thanatos to close the gap is because he had already released his punch into the metaphysical. All that was left was for Thanatos to be at the right place at the right time. But this is Thanatos we're talking about. He was able to block it. Is that all you've got, Saiyan King, he asks? Come on, your entire body is shivering. Old men like you should be sipping tea somewhere in a garden, not terrorizing a planet after a baby's birth, Vegeta says, and then his eyes would flash. He channels his energy into the Shadow Realm and creates a spatial rift around Thanatos. Naturally, this would catch him off guard. And Vegeta is very calculated with every move he makes. He knew Thanatos would get distracted enough to try and combat the spatial rift. This leaves him vulnerable and wide open to Vegeta's attacks. Suddenly, it's not very funny anymore. Thanatos is inside a tiny universe created by Vegeta's will. And no, he can't just brute force his way out of there. It was literally impossible. This was almost the equivalent to the prison realm in Jujutsu Kaisen. Vegeta releases a burst of energy and leaps forward. All of the nearby celestial bodies tremble, and Thanatos is hit with a volley of powerful energy blasts. The first one is mid, he doesn't even feel that one. The second one was more annoying. Third one hurt a little bit, but not that much. And the fourth one felt like slamming your toe in the door. This is where Thanatos begins to realize what's really going on here. Each energy blast is twice as powerful as the previous one, and it seems that Vegeta has started an infinite loop. By the 70th energy blast, Thanatos starts showing major signs of fatigue. This is the first time we've seen him actually tired and exhausted. How did you learn such pinpoint precision, mortal, he asks. From a friend named Hit, Vegeta replies. We fought not too terribly long ago. I awakened my primal instinct during the fight with Hit. He may not be as strong as Jiren, but honestly, if he's allowed to kill, he's an extremely difficult opponent to fight, Vegeta states. He didn't reveal that for Thanatos though, he revealed that for Goku, who was clearly paying a lot of attention to this fight. Hit, huh? I see. Honestly, I'm glad. If you're this capable, I can finally let loose. If things go south, Feel free to kill me or whatever, Thanatos declares, and suddenly, the light in his eyes fades away. The Grand Priest and the Dragon God Zalama were both observing this fight from different regions of the multiverse when all of a sudden, they make their appearance on the battlefield as well. The Grand Priest grabbing Thanatos' right shoulder while Zalama grabs his left. Now, just what were you planning on doing? The last time you went all out, if you remember, the universe was divided into 18 parts, the Grand Priest says. That's right, control yourself, Thanatos, or we'll have no choice but to kill you, Zalama adds. What gives? Why did you two decide to intervene now of all times? Let the guy go all out. I'll handle it, Vegeta says. I forbid. Congratulations for keeping your promise, Vegeta, but the multiverse is a little more important than your singular fight. The only reason I even had him come after you was to make sure the primal instinct doesn't go south, the Grand Priest replies. Meanwhile, Beerus, who was watching this entire thing play out on Whis' orb, actually faints. This was too much for his heart to handle. Primal Instinct, Super Saiyan 5, the Grand Priest, and Zalama all in the same place, and it was because of his universe? Oh, Beerus was freaking out. Dragon God Zalama, Lord Grand Priest, please do not interrupt our fight anymore. You guys don't understand the true nature of Primal Instinct either, but this man, the Saiyan King right here, he does. Allow me to die by his hand, Thanatos declares. This would be a befitting end to my long and unnatural and exhausting life. Let me die by the hands of someone like the Saiyan King. The Grand Priest and Zalama obviously aren't buying it, but Vegeta would step up next. He distorts the space around Thanatos and separates him from the two gods. Vegeta would then enforce his own domain onto the multiverse from where he stood. A tiny realm where anything can happen and the rest of the multiverse wouldn't be affected. This development was brazen enough to shut up both the Grand Priest and Zalama, and while they're both capable of such feats as well, to do so casually and without any gimmicks or forewarning, this is what it looks like to be one with the multiverse, to truly be infinite. Now then, Mr. Lord Thanatos, feel free to go all out. This is our own private little server here, Vegeta says. Thanatos would laugh hysterically. After this, Thanatos would do the same thing he did in the early days of the universe, and let his incomplete primal instinct go buck wild. He gives up his own will and lets the energy itself take over his body. He was now more like Primal Instinct Broly, but 100 times more dangerous. This is the very first god of destruction ever. Vegeta feels the intensity and decides to check up on the situation in the Shadow Realm. What would have happened if he hadn't contained Thanatos in the domain? Vegeta sees it. Universe 6 and 7 would have collapsed completely. They would have experienced a hypothetical event called the Big Freeze, or I guess you could call it the death of the universe. Vegeta and Thanatos would have survived. The Grand Priest and Zalama would have survived as well, but as far as everyone else, well, it would have been turned into nothing. While no one else can really see it, the Shadow Realm has been going absolutely bonkers since these two started. Not good, Vegeta thinks to himself. I can't relax knowing this can happen. Kakarot and the others must master this instinct as soon as possible as well. Vegeta's mind gets swayed. He begins to consider the possibility that he could lose his firm control over the primal instinct as well. This disturbance in his mind causes a hole in the domain. A burst of primal energy deadly enough to kill all of the Saiyans comes out, but fortunately the Grand Priest easily manages to stop it thanks to his mastery of the Infinity. Vegeta realizes that he was a fool for thinking that he'd be able to contain something and someone so dangerous in a domain. Without the Grand Priest or Zalama there, even that small leak of primal instinct could have wiped out the majority of a single universe. So this is when he decides to force Thanatos into the Shadow Realm as well. What is this? I'm conscious once again, Thanatos asks. He had lost consciousness when he went all out. This is what we call the Shadow Realm, and to tell you the truth, Primal Instinct is nothing more than awareness of this part of the universe. So, what will you do next, Vegeta? Will you kill me? Thanatos asked. He was oddly excited about being killed by Vegeta. No, that'd be a waste. I can tell that one day an even stronger user of Primal Instinct will appear. So I'm going to make sure to put your energy to good use, Vegeta replies. What the hell does that mean, he asks. Tonight, my friend Zykor's baby was born. He will go on to become much stronger than me, Kakarot, or any other Saiyan that we know, Vegeta says. He's been birthed with the name Caries after the personification of violence, but honestly, I couldn't feel a single speck of danger coming from that kid. But his power level at birth is the most stable out of all of the Saiyans we're familiar with. So how does that relate to this situation? Well, Vegeta would take Thanatos' incomplete primal instinct and redirect it towards the baby. Now, thanks to this, Zykor and Kale's son Caries now has somewhat of a natural affinity or proclivity for primal instinct as Thanatos. As for Thanatos, he had finally been freed of this billions years old curse. Shortly after, both Vegeta and Thanatos would come out of the Shadow Realm. Everyone is surprised by the calm look on both of their faces. "Looks like I'm finally ready to retire, Grand Priest," Thanatos says. "I can see that, but what happened? And why is my Omni precognition faltering all of a sudden?" "What did you do, Vegeta?" the Grand Priest asks. Vegeta grins. "I guess only time will tell. For now, though, I'd appreciate it if you and Lord Zalama leave together with Mr. Thanatos. We were in the middle of a celebration here." The Grand Priest could see that there was no more cause for concern for the time being, so he and Zalama actually leave. Goku gives Vegeta a round of applause because what they just witnessed, you had to be there to believe it. "Whoa, that was amazing, Vegeta. You seem like enlightened now or something," Goku says. Vegeta would just smirk. "Whatever, since everyone is here now, let's finish celebrating Carrie's birthday the right way." Right as Vegeta says this, Zykor firmly grabs his shoulder. "Vegeta, you did something to my son, didn't you? Don't forget, I endured non-existence for 1,000 years. Such subtlety cannot escape me." "What did you do?" Zykor asks. He was kinda scared, but he also trusts Vegeta. Vegeta pauses and looks around. He sees Goku, Gohan, Broly, Trunks, even King and Prince Sadala. He sees all the Saiyans, and naturally among them, there is Kale holding her newborn baby Caries. Vegeta takes a deep breath and says, "Alright, listen well, everyone. Lord Thanatos is the first god of destruction. He has been around since pretty much the beginning of the multiverse. All of his prowess, his proclivity for primal instinct, his instability and natural knack for destruction, I took on all of that and transferred it into our newborn Saiyan prodigy here," Vegeta declares, and with that, all of the Saiyans present here are left utterly shocked. At this point, there was only one person left in this party that didn't have their jaw on the ground and showed genuine excitement for the future to come. And you guessed it, it was of course Goku. So albeit for better or worse after the recent developments and Vegeta being the only known user of Super Saiyan 5 at this point and master of Primal Instinct, I'm gonna assure you guys that this story hasn't ended just yet.